on mute. Okay. Good afternoon, guys, and sorry for the confusion that happened. I was trying to email as many of you as possible. With the updated link. For some reason, the other link didn't work. So let me just email some students here. Okay, so how are you?
Good, how are you?
Okay, great. So I'm keep accepting people who are coming into that. I hope everyone just got the message with the updated link. Okay, so I'll keep monitoring my email, guys, but actually my email is in my office machine, and this is a different machine I'm using. So I might be in and out. So forgive me if I just have some moment of silence for some time until I keep checking back and forth to different computers. At any rate, thank you very much for joining the meeting. The meeting, as you know, regarding the CySP, this is an excellent opportunity that we have been offering our students here at IUP for quite some time. Some of you are familiar with this opportunity because I know that some of you are already recipient of the scholarship. I keep accepting you now from the waiting room, and which I do have actually a meeting with them also today at 5 p.m. right after this meeting. Some of you are new, so I'll just try to summarize the information and needed again documents that I would like to share with you, and I'll open the floor after that for questions if you have any questions. So first thing, and probably best thing to do, I'll just go on our website here and share my screen. Okay, Cyber Scholarship Program, it's a program funded by the Department of Defense. We have been actually working in this program for years, and at the moment we have actually 9 students who are receiving this unprecedented opportunity for this current cycle of 2021 academic year. We are here for, in this information session, by the way, to discuss the next cycle, which is the 21-22 cycle, which was just recently released. Usually, I have to say, unusually out of cycles, because normally this something happened in December. So, and this also have some implications on our internal deadline here at IUP. So your submission deadline now is in late January 2021. We'll discuss all of that stuff, but just if you're not that familiar, I will start with our actually flyer. This is a very, very unique and competitive scholarship while discussing this academic year, this coming academic year, 21-22. If you are an undergraduate and you will be selected by one of the DOD agency, you will receive a $25,000 your annual stipend. This will cover actually room and board for the entire academic year. And summer, of course, if you are a graduate student or someone who will be entering graduate students, your stipend will be $30K a year. You'll also receive some other benefits, not just the stipend. Of course, most importantly, you are going to receive full tuition and fees, and I'm stressing tuitions and fees waiver. So all of that cost will be covered by the scholarship. You're going to receive a brand new laptop or PC up to $1,500, and cost for books and health insurance too, if you choose to. Although it's a little bit complicated for health insurance, but this is a benefit that are there. Some of the requirements here that you should be familiar with is minimum GPA of 3.2. If you are a graduate student, is 3.5. You must be entering your junior year. So by the end of summer 2021, you must have 60 credits, okay, completed. okay, before in order to be eligible to receive the scholarship in fall of 2021. Of course, you must be a US citizen. You have to agree to work for 1 year. For each year, you receive support. And this is, again, you're going to work for a DOD agency as a civilian. Okay, and let me stress this very clearly. You'll be working as a civilian for 1 year or 2 years max if you receive the scholarship for junior and senior. And after that, you can do whatever you want with your life. It's up to you. And again, many people actually enjoy that and continue working for the agency. Some people decide to leave and work for a contract or other, a job. It's up to you. You have to fulfill your service obligation, of course. Otherwise, you have to pay the government back what they spent on you. So this is just a very just high-level highlights. I choose the flyer because we tried to summarize the important stuff about the scholarship in the flyer. Okay, can you give me 1 second, guys, until I check quickly my computer in case someone just else. Okay, nothing so far. Okay.
Oh, I just have a quick question.
Was this highlight any questions? Is this a question, Mike, or just who's talking?
Oh, my apologies. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just had a quick question, if that's okay.
Go ahead and ask the questions.
Sure thing. So you mentioned that for the scholarship, you would have to work as a civilian for the Department of Defense. Would that require someone going into boot camp or anything like that, or would?
No. It's just like again, and I'll leave this to. I would strongly encourage you to ask if you're asking about the specific details regarding this, to get in touch with one of our scholarship recipients. We have 9 of them. Some of them actually in this talk, and you can ask them about the details, and they'll be more than happy telling you about some of that. But definitely this doesn't involve that. It might involve an internship in your, if you are a junior, it might involve an internship between your junior and senior year. It's a paid internship you'll be doing with your agency. But it doesn't, just involve the formal definition of a boot camp. You are not just enlisted in the military. Basically, it's a regular work, but you are working for your specific DOD agency. This also, for everyone to understand, this involves you're going to actually have a security clearance. This is one we consider actually this is one of the advantages. In fact, I just finished a 2 hours meeting with the program officer, Mrs. Smithley, right before this meeting from 1 to 3, we have an hour gap. We have been discussing this and the plan for next year. So yes, no, not a traditional boot camp. You will get some training, of course, at your agency, but not as we perceived as a boot camp. Other questions for now, guys?
Yes. Since for tuition, is this only for IUP? Does it work for if we transfer to other school?
If you receive a scholarship from IUP, you have to be an IUP student, yes? If you transfer to other school, you mean you have to explain to me exactly where you are going to. Are you graduating soon and joining a graduate program? Hello?
Hello.
Good. Can you hear me? So I need to understand fully, your question direction. Are you graduating and you ask about you're joining a graduate program?
If I don't join their program, what will happen? Hello?
If you receive the scholarship from IUP, you should be an IUP student going into your junior year or senior year. The only exception is if you are an IUP student going to a graduate program at a different, actually CEE, Center of Academic Excellence. In this case, you should be actually applying with them, not with IUP. If you are going to a graduate program at IUP, which is I have one single exception case like this, yes, you're going to apply with IUP. But if you're going to another school, you have to just, the other school, to explain this is not a scholarship that's given to you guys. This is a grant that we apply. If the grant is successful and some of our students applying, will be selected by a DOD agency, They give the money to IUP. Then we give you your benefit. Does this answer your questions?
Yes, it does. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
sure.
Oh, I just have one more quick question, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
So it says that it applies to the cybersecurity track major. Does it also apply to the software engineering major or no?
Definitely, definitely. I had that question asked to with a student. Of course, yes. We have actually several of our recipients are just computer science major. It doesn't matter. You have to have a cybersecurity. It's called Cyber Scholarship Program. I always advise anyone who receives this scholarship to always consider having at least a minor in cybersecurity if you don't have a major in cybersecurity, because this is a program, this is the focus of the scholarship. So, and I know that this is an option available for also for engineering students. You can just pick a minor in cybersecurity. So if this is your case, I would definitely advise you to just follow this. This will improve your chance of getting picked, by the way. And as I explained to some of you, will even improve your chance when you try to negotiate your salary.
Okay, so as long as you minor in cybersecurity, you have a decent chance of getting it. Okay.
I'm not saying you have a decent chance of getting it. It will improve your chance of getting it, or in addition to many other factors. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you look at the application entirely. One very important factor I have to tell everyone here in this call is use GPA. Yes, minimum GPA is 3.2, which gives like significant range here from 3.2 to 4.0. But they consider your GPA as an important factor. And they also consider many other, including how we recommend you, because I'm not sure any faculty in this call or not, you know, Dr. Wu or Dr. Ezekiel, no, I don't see anyone. But anyway, when we sit in a faculty panel and we evaluate different application guys, we come up with a recommendation. Actually, this recommendation is taken very highly by different agencies. Okay, so I know that you have a lot of questions, and I will give you, much more time than this few minutes to answer all of your questions. But let me try to finish first all the stuff I would like to go through, and then open the floor to any questions you might have. Okay, most importantly, again, because of the timeline, and this also will be a new information for students who are returning students for our Cyber Scholarship Program. The deadline for submitting all of your applications with all supporting documents is January 29th, 2021. This is, again, a very important date for everyone for many reasons. First of all, it's different this year, so it's a totally different deadline than what we used to have in mid-February in the old days. This is number one. Number two is this will be roughly given IUP calendar. This will be first or second week of the semester, of the spring semester. We are in a COVID era that everything is just almost online nowadays. So I'm strongly encouraging everyone who is interested to basically start working on this his application right now. Okay, this will involve getting some just official transcript. I know it's easy now. I will show you how to get your digital and electronic transcripts. Official transcript are also acceptable this year. So this is the most important thing I would like to bring to everyone here. The deadline, there's a lot of just like breaks in the middle. So factor all of that. Start working in your application ASAP, okay? And so you can catch the deadline, which is January 29th. January 29th is not just the deadline to submit your application, it's the deadline to submit your complete correct application. Because if you submitted an incorrect application, unfortunately, just missing a document, this will disqualify your application. And I will show you samples right now, by the way, on making your life easy. So this is the most important thing just to emphasize here, deadline, deadline, deadline. Second thing, if you would like to know exactly about the program and read about the details, because eventually, if you're gonna accept that scholarship, if you will be offered one and you will accept, you're gonna sign a contract with the Department of Defense. That contract is a binding contract. It's a legally binding contract. So you have to abide with all the terms and conditions, in return, you'll get all these, huge benefits. Benefit can range per students for real guys between $40,000 to $60,000, depending on your tuition levels and many other stuff. So this is something significant. So scholarship application requirement, I'll click on this document, I'll open it. I strongly encourage everyone, okay, who is seriously interested in this program to read that document. It's not a long document, and it's easy read, but you will familiarize yourself with exactly what you are signing up for if you will be selected, and what's required from you to submit, and the different, again, documents and different regulation, stipulation, and things like that that you need to be aware of. So again, everything is posted on the website. It's available for you. Just click on that document, and read through it, just like, 8 or 9 pages. Just make sure that you are familiar with everything entailed in this program. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so student application preparation instructions. It's very important, again, to follow these instructions very, very closely, okay, to your best, to your level best. So again, it's just a couple of pages. Initially, you just read them very carefully also, and follow that direction and instruction. Some of this stuff, by the way, might not apply directly, because when this year, given that many of you will be, doing the semester, the spring semester, even remotely, many of you are doing it remotely now. So some of the stuff that deals with, papers and that stuff, physical stuff, doesn't apply, but you have to understand it from the big picture. So for instance, new student applications, this is the main 6 things that you have to submit for a new student application. The application itself, which I will show to you, it's a 10-page application. Your official transcripts, again, electronic official transcripts are fine. Your resume, we'll talk about a specific template for the first year, actually. I told you I was just, was Ms. Smithley in a meeting before that, and they just released this one, and I will make it actually accessible on the web very soon, on our web. But you have to follow this here, actually, a specific resume template that every applicant must use. You will not, create your own resume the way you want. You have to follow that template. You have to include 1 page of awards, honors. This is optional, by the way. 2 letters of references of someone who knows you very well, preferably faculty who taught you courses. So when you approach someone, you need to approach someone who know you, and at least one of them will be faculty from IUP, who taught you some courses and is willing to write you a letter of support. Lastly, we'll talk about the OF 612, which is, again, supplemental competency statements. It's the 3 pages answering 6 different questions. We'll talk about them. For the returning student, if we have any returning student here, basically your application is a little bit shorter. They just, by the way, release a new version other than the one I posted in the website, and I will make sure that to update the website soon. But your application is a little bit lighter. It's 7 pages. You have to include your official transcripts, your resume using the new template, and 1 letter of reference. And this is basically a letter from me, not from anyone. It has to come from the POC, which is the grant PI, which is Dr. Farag. Okay, this is the way you name your files. This is the order you're gonna put your stuff. We'll talk about this stuff still, but strongly encouraged, follow the preparation instructions step by step, and apply all of these just to the best of your ability. We go through a very, very, careful review phase here at IUP before we submit your application. But it will make your life much more easier, and our life also much more easier, if you follow these instructions very closely. If we submit, if we miss something and it was, say, out of order, anything like that, any missing document, this is basically will immediately disqualify your application when it is sent to the DOD. By the way, we have never had such a case. As I said, we go through very, very rigorous review process before we send anything, but mistakes happen. So it's much better to catch these mistakes earlier, and the first step is for you to catch your mistakes, yes? So make sure that you submit an application that basically follow a couple of page guidelines. I'm quite sure all of you will be able to do that. Okay, this is with the guidelines for new students. This is your application. So new student application is here. This is the first thing. It's 10 pages. It's a fill-in PDF. And given that all of you, or most of you will be remote, okay? So everything will be electronic, which means you will need to use your Adobe Professional to fill this one and digitally sign your application. So for instance, at this page, you'll find a place here to digitally sign it. Again, I'm just opening it in the browser. If I'm opening it in Adobe CC, Creative Cloud, you'll find here a digital signature entry. You click on it and you sign. If you don't have Adobe Creative Cloud, we'll talk about some workaround by using, IUP, VCL, and things like that. But just it's a form that you have to fill, and I'll show you a complete example for the entire application. So most of the information needed will be in the first a couple of pages. First one looks like a cover page. You eventually remove it, and then you sign here. You write your last name here. You fill the information, and you sign here. And this is information, by the way, about just the 6 questions I talked about in the OF 612 form. This is the different disciplines that we are focusing on, and some additional information and just things that you commit to. You're gonna type your name here, digitally sign the last page, which is page 10. This is for the new students applications, those who are applying for the first time, those who are currently a CYSP recipient, and they still have 1 year to finish the senior year or partially, just a semester at least. You have to download the returning student application, and it's almost the same thing, but it's shorter. And the version here is not a fill-in PDF. They just released the corrected version. I downloaded today, and that will be posted on our website soon. But it's almost the same thing, shorter again. You don't have to submit the OF 612. You just need to fill this completely, attach your updated transcripts, your CV using the new the template, and a letter of recommendation directly from me, which will be attached, which will add to your application once I get it. With this, what else? For the returning student application, if any one of them are here, please don't download this again. I just downloaded the newer versions they just released, and I will update the website very soon. Just once the web team approves the submission, it will go live. Okay, so few things here. And some of them really are very new. I just had a meeting, as I said, with an updated information for me myself a couple of hours ago. You are not eligible if you are graduating anytime before May 2022. What this means, if you are graduating in fall 2021 and you only have 1 semester, we used to accept these students' application. In this year, the case is different because they figure out that it's impossible for them to process your clearances and all the needed stuff in less than 6 months. So they put a limitation on us on accepting applications. You have to be if you are getting into your senior year in the coming fall, which is fall 2021, you should have at least 1 year, which means graduating on May 2022. Okay, what else? Let me see here. I can just a quick let me do this just to, especially for the students who are considering applying for the first time. I'm going to stop sharing here, share this one. This is an example of an application, guys. So you're going to fill your information here. Again, I try to redact this application, so there's no any personal information you can see. But this is an actual application we received. And you're going to initial here. And you're going to answer all these questions, put your GPA. I have to initial here too. Everything is electronic nowadays. In the second page, you might choose one of the agents here. You can just leave it blank. It's not a big deal. I have to sign here. After reviewing your application, you have to put your information here. Same thing. You can add some information about you here. Your last name should be here. Once you populate it in the first page, the form will automatically populate it in the remaining pages. This is just another signature on page 5. Some information about OF 612. Okay, information about different disciplines we accept, and some additional information you have to sign the last page. Then you have to include your official transcript. In this case, it has to be your electronically one issued by IUP. I'll show you how to do that if you don't know how to do that. You have to include your resume following the specific templates up to 2 pages. If you have any honor or recognition page, you're going to include them here in this page. Letter of recommendation from 2 faculty. So, or just one faculty, at least another one. So Dr. Ezekiel is writing this letter of recommendation of some of you. Another letter of recommendation from another faculty, or another one that he knows you very well recently. And you have to complete very carefully the OF 612, which is, as I said, it's 6 different questions about your ability in different just areas related to cybersecurity that you have to address here very carefully and elaborately, okay, in up to 3 pages. You have to answer this one. So this is your own written statements here addressing these 6 different questions. So this is a sample application. Let me stop sharing here for a second. And I need to show you one more thing. This is the new template that all of you, whether you are new or returning students, must follow, okay, when you basically submit your resume. So the just various DOD agency participating in the program have agreed to use this one to make the review process on the end much more streamlined. So it's streamlined to streamline the process at the end. So basically, there's a type here, don't worry, but this is basically the format. And I'm going to post that template also on the website so you can download it and customize your resume according to this format. So you must use this format specifically. If you have a section which doesn't apply to you, just you can ignore it, but you have to just use the entire template here. Okay, what else? Okay, back to the project. And let me check my last time here. Give me 1 second, guys. So there's one here, students. Okay, so if you think the participant window. I think we covered almost everything. I was just trying to email one of the students who has the same issue with the link. With this, I'll stop talking and open the floor for any questions you might have.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going into my junior year in fall of 21. I can apply during this cycle. Is that right?
Yeah, as long as at the end of summer 2021, you will have 60 more earned credit, which is credit you have just finished at IUP by the end of summer. You are eligible.
Okay.
Okay.
And
It's actually
also,
designed for this, for the people who are entering the junior year in the fall 2021, so they can get the scholarship for the first year, fall 21 and the spring 22, and they get the renewal in fall 22, spring 23.
okay, thank you. And I have one more. Will you be
Sure,
posting
Alec,
that?
go ahead.
Will you be posting that template resume
Yeah,
somewhere?
exactly here. So you can see under number 8 here, how to apply. I'll just add number 9. Please use this template, which I just downloaded right before the
Oh,
meeting.
right.
I knew about it just right before this meeting. So I have to post it, and it has to go through the normal web approval, which takes 1 to 2 days. But after that, should be available for all of you.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions, concerns? I'm expecting a lot of questions in your mind, guys. So, and a lot of special cases.
So, oh, sorry, my apologies.
Okay, so
No, all good.
go ahead, Tom.
So just to make sure then, so right now I'm currently a junior, and I'd be a senior by spring 2022. I'd still be able to apply for the scholarship, correct?
What's your graduation date? Expected.
Expected. So it's the right now it's fall 2020. It would be spring 2022, but I might be going for my master's. So I would probably
May 2022.
Yeah.
Yes, you are eligible to apply. You still have 1 year starting from fall 2021, so you are eligible to apply.
Okay, thank you. And my only other question would be is, so you mentioned internship. What would the internship be like?
If you are getting this for 1 year only, which is your senior year, there's no internship requirement for you, because once you graduate in May 2022, you'll be joining your agency. So there's no point of having internship. Internship is designed primarily for students who are taking the program for 2 years. So after the first year, which is the junior year, they will have the summer between junior and senior. So they go to internship on that one. It's a paid internship at their own agency that selected them.
Okay, thank you. And the training, like, could you elaborate on like what the training would be like?
What kind of training in the internship?
Well, not in the internship. You mentioned that that we'd be working for the Department of Defense for the amount of time we have the scholarship, and that there'd be training.
Yeah, it might be training, it might not. It depends on each case. I cannot really elaborate on this. It's a case by case situation. Your agency, if you get selected, can communicate the details of how they handle the program at the end with you at that time. But I assume when you were just asking about the boot camp, I told you when you start any job, the people will train you. So this is just some basic expectations. They can train you on site. They can send you to train just on some other site, and it can be even paid training. But if you would like specifics, I would encourage you, as I said, to talk to some of our recipients who might give you their own experience, what happened with their own.
At least for myself, for the scholarship that I received, they do the training over the summer during that 10-month or 10-week internship period, and then when you start on the full job, you've got most of the training you need. I'm sure they still do a little bit then, but you know.
Okay, thanks a lot, by the Jacob, for your information. Tom and everyone is one of our recipients, so his information actually input is very valuable. Thanks, Jacob.
No problem.
Okay, so any questions or anything, guys?
So when submitting our transcripts, do we want to submit for after this semester has concluded or before the semester has concluded?
Thank you very much, Michael, for asking this question. This is a very important question, yes. And I'm sorry that I overlooked to say the answer explicitly when I was explaining. Yes, you are applying, yes, very early in the spring, but you are applying after your fall semester is over. So your most recent academic semester, which is fall 2020, this current semester, you have to include your updated GPA based on the outcome of that semester, which means I don't recommend any one of you getting your transcript now because it will not include this information, of course. So wait until your grade is posted for the fall 2020, and you're going to include your most recent transcripts, including your GPA after fall 2020. Is this clear, guys?
Yes, thank you very much.
So you can start working in all parts of the application, your resume and everything from now, but don't order the official transcript until you completely finish fall. You have a grade for all your courses in fall. You have an updated GPA. By the way, this is the updated GPA that you should include in your application, and this is what determine your eligibility. So after fall 2020, your GPA must be above 3.2 or above. And given that some of you asked about transcripts, let me do this. I promise you I'll show you something. So IUP. So if you just Google it, IUP transcript request, you'll go to official transcript here. Unofficial transcript is not acceptable, guys. So you have to go with an official transcripts. Official transcripts can be one of two things. Can be one from the National Student Clearinghouse, and this is basically the instructions that you need to follow. This is an electronic transcript which is acceptable this year in your application. So when you get this one, you will get an official transcript as a PDF file. The transcript will have a specific digital signature at the top, which indicates this it's an official, authentic document. So this is the one that you will include in your application. This applies to new and returning students too. And I believe they just charge like $10. So it should be very easy, no sharing or anything. It's just electronic format. So this is for the transcript, guys. Other questions or other concerns?
Yeah, I had one quick question.
Go ahead, Nolan.
Yes. Is there any way that we would possibly be able to find like a list of possible departments that might be wanting students, just so we could get like an idea of where we could possibly end up at?
Okay, this is a very, very interesting question. Sometimes they give us this list and sometimes they don't. So really it's outside of IUP control here. If the program officer, Mrs. Smithley communicated to us a possible list of DOD agencies that are participating in the program, I will definitely make this accessible to anyone who is interested. I would say, again, even without that information, this is a great opportunity. If you worry much about locations, I can just assure you a little bit. There's no, of course, guarantee whatsoever, because when you sign up for that contract, you say, I will accept whatever is going to assign me, whatever locations they're going to assign me to. So many of our recipients actually work just like less than a couple of 100 miles from here. So in Pennsylvania, local here in the States. Some of them go to different places. Okay. Yes, there's no guarantee, but there's some like agency like Navy Sub, and DESA, NSA. Just the Navy also hire a lot of students in this program. Many of them are close by here, DC areas, Maryland, Pennsylvania. Some of them different places, but just to give you a hint here, if we get this list, I'll share it with you. If not, don't worry much about it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. I know it's a part of your applications is like a list of 3 agencies that you can put your preferences, but from my experience, this is not just a significant information because in many times we didn't get the list. So our student didn't have any option other than leaving them blank. So this is from the best. Okay, other questions or concerns, guys, regarding the application or how things will work in this coming cycle?
So, like, do we get much of a choice of where they assign us to, or if it just kind of you go wherever they want?
No, you don't get much choice. If you have the ability, if I have that list, if they share with us that list to put your preference, but this is just a preference for you to fully understand how this process works. Okay, although I'm limited in the kind of information I can share at this point, different DOD agency just set together here with a list of applicants. And it's literally like, a football draft, okay? And each agency representative will just go through and say, okay, I like this applicant, oh, I can get it, the other one will get. So in terms of applicant preference, I don't think they weigh much, okay, in this process at all. This is my personal opinion. So it will end up, if you get back, you go with whatever location, the agency that was interested in you decides. So there's no much input here, I have to admit. But as I said in my answer to Nolan's questions, from our experience, we have many people here at IUP, many recipients at IUP who will be working or already had started working on agency which is very, very close by, nearby home here. Not that far from here at all, physically. Some people in DESA, just different places, some people in NSA, some people in some, SPAWO, like some agency of the Navy, some of them in Eastern Coast. I have no knowledge of any of our students who even went to the Western Coast, but there's no guarantee. Okay. So short answer, there's no guarantee, but from experience, there's a lot of students who are just, a lot of people who are just very, very local here, or just very close by.
All right.
Okay, any other questions? Any other question, guys? Anyone in this call have any questions or would like to ask anything? This is your best chance of, hearing from me directly. Of course, you can reach out anytime after that by email, but I strongly encourage you to follow as much as possible the details I posted on the website, particularly in relation to the preparation of your application. It's a key, guys. It's a key to, you present yourself through few papers. So the way you present yourself, just for someone who doesn't know you, who will not be doing interview, some few will be interviewed, by the way, by phone and by other means. But for the initial, just impression, when someone is seeing your application, they just look at few papers. You have to present yourself in these few papers in the best way you can. In terms of organizations, just the writing is just, cohesive, English is good, everything. Format of your just applications. This is how you're going to express yourself. This is a very competitive program. You have to understand that. And at the same time, it's a very unique program. It gives each recipient something between $40,000 to $60,000 a year. This is significant. And if any one of you worry about just like some students say has raised this issue, that you think if you work for the private sector, you will make more money. Yeah, in the face value, you might make more money than your agency at the beginning, but you have to understand that you have to factor the benefits that you received in 2 years that can amount to $100,000. There's no way there will be, like, just return on investment better than the scholarship. And in many cases, if your skill just is up to the bar, they push you up to the scale very high. We have an example in our meeting today was Miss Matley talking about someone who just getting just so the ladder just very quickly in 3 years from like G7 to G11, something like that. So it's very interesting opportunity that's unique, guys. So I encourage anyone who's interested to think carefully and read the regulation of the scholarship very well, so you fully understand what you are signing up for. Nothing very special, by the way. This is like any, just if you are going to work for a defense contractor after graduation, just the absolute majority of them, if not all of them, will require some kind of security clearance. You have to get security clearance here anyway. So for you to just to work for your DOD agency, you have to get a security clearance. So you have to understand this too. Understand that the everything about you will be investigated. So be careful about social media use and other stuff that many other faculty and colleagues talk to you about. But this is something very important when we talk about scholarship and the possibility of you going through a security clearance process, which is very beneficial even after if you decide to leave your agency after a year or two, after you fulfill your obligation, service obligation with them. Basically, it's an excellent plus. You'll have a security clearance. You have to renew it in most cases, yes, but it's much easier to renew it than to start a new one from the beginning. Okay.
Dr. Farag,
Sure.
if I might speak for a minute about it too.
Sure, go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, so I think it's a really unique opportunity because, well, one of the things that they don't mention necessarily is that you get to also use the stipend to live however you want. So if you want to save it for the future or whatever you want to do with it, I think it's really helpful. And then on top of that, one of the things that they talked about in our meetings is that you might not make as much as you would if you were to start out as a contractor, but all the government benefits that come along with working for the government, I think are really beneficial. And you won't really find it anywhere else. Besides, trying to get a security clearance without that kind of sponsorship is nearly impossible.
Very good point. Thank you very much for the input again, Jacob. And again, Jacob is talking from experience, guys. So you will give strong emphasis to his input, of course. Okay. Our meeting is wrapping up very quickly, guys. I have actually a meeting right after this. So if you have any questions, this is your chance to ask now.
Quick question. When will we know if we're chosen for the scholarship?
Okay, this is another good question, Ryan. Normally you apply in end of February. This is an out of cycle for the first time. As I said, this year, our deadline to submit the application is mid-February. So we traditionally hear from the DOD back in early May with the list of names that were selected and those who are renewed. So they push the deadline a little bit. This is might change their release time. I'm not sure. Okay. So, but let's say just sometime in May. This is a guess, by the way.
All right. Thanks so much.
Sure. Any other questions, guys? Go ahead, Thomas.
I was just going to ask, I know this might sound like an odd question, but would Jacob be able to share his experience as to what it was like getting the scholarship and then working at the Department of Defense?
Of course, you want him to do that now, you mean, or you sharing his experience and in a much more extended
if he was going to mention it later, I can wait later. It's just I was just curious if it was possible.
Yeah, of course, within limit, of course. Jacob understands fully the limits that he can speak to you about. But if you'd like to say a couple of more words, Jacob, feel free to do that.
So I haven't actually started my internship yet. I've corresponded with them a lot, and I can tell you that the agency that I'm working for, the people there are very nice. And even though you're talking to people who are, in the NSA, who are in, these other big agencies, they're all, humans like anyone else, and they're very good and they're very understanding. The one thing I will mention is that there's also a really unique networking opportunity because I'm now in a lot of different groups with people from around the country who are also DOD scholars. And so you get a chance to really discuss with all of them, and you might meet some new people who you might have never interacted with before, who go to, universities like Stanford, Harvard, MIT, all of these big universities, and us at IUP, we might not get a chance to correspond with people like that normally.
Again, thank you very much for the input, Jacob. And to emphasize his point, the agency that Jacob will be working for soon, internships this summer, and then later on after he graduates, basically are very nice people. I strongly actually support that. And they actually have very interesting informal recipient for all people who will be working with them. I'm not sure this was for the Jacob cycle or before that, but we were talking actually about this earlier today. This specific case. So yes, this is a very interesting chance, guys. This is just the bottom line for all of you. Any last minute question, guys? Okay, so given that no one just having any question, I will conclude this meeting. But before I do that, I will stress one thing I mentioned several times, but probably from how many times I mention it, I hope all of you will get how important this point is. Your application is a key, guys, for your success in this program. Okay, so very special, very special attention to the way you write your application, the way you answer the 6 questions on the OF 612, for instance, the way you format your resume following strictly the template I'm gonna release on the website. Okay, select people who are gonna write strong recommendation letter for you, who know you very well and willing to do that. Follow strictly the application preparation guideline, which is just 2 pages. Okay, I think all of you can do that. Start working as soon as you can in the application, so you can give yourself time to revise, okay, the application, okay, at least a couple of times after you completely finish everything before you submit your application to me. Okay, after you submit your application to me, in the past, when we used to have paper and just application, I usually have just time to go through the application just page by page and try to eliminate any errors. And we have done this with many of you, but with a large number of applications I expect this year, and the fact that everything is electronic and I don't meet you physically face-to-face in my office hours, for instance, I would strongly emphasize the importance of you trying to perfect your application. Nothing is perfect, yes, but do your level best, putting your application in the best way it can. With this, good luck, guys. If you happen to have any questions after that, feel free to email me, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. You might also reach to Dr. Ezekiel or Dr. Wu, who are helping me in this program too. Okay, good luck, and have a nice night. I'm joining now my scholarship recipient actually meeting, our monthly meeting. Have a nice day, guys. I will close this meeting for anyone. So Jacob, I'm close this meeting and try to join again using the same link. Okay.
Oh, if I may,
Eddie too. Eddie is there. Yes.
I apologize for staying a few minutes late. The reason I was asking so much about the bootcamp stuff is because I have medical things and stuff.
I got your message, by the way. I responded to your chat, Tom.
Okay.
You got that?
Yeah, I got that. I just
so don't worry at all. Just don't worry at all. You can ask any question anytime. I'm just letting you know that to the best of my knowledge, no, there's nothing in the formal bootcamp concept. Okay?
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry for bothering you so much about it.
No, you're not bothering me at all. This is why we're having this meeting, for you to ask questions, guys. Okay, so Nicholas here, Tim, Zach, everyone. So Eddie, Tim, and Nicholas, I'm actually gonna close this meeting. for now, because I need the recording link to be different here, and I'll start our meeting in just a couple of minutes. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Have a
Okay,
nice day.
Eddie, Nicholas, can you hear it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sure. I'm going to just basically end this meeting now. I will start our meeting in just a couple of minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. See you.